Hey everyone, we're Pocket20 and we're here today to talk a little bit about our new music video for our song Brighten My Day. And Brighten My Day has an origin story, so I wanted to ask Scott and Andy and Ben, how did we write that song? How did it pan out the way it did?
Well, I think the question is, how did you write that song? So maybe we could start there.
I was in my living room.
We were in Andy's living room and I had just gotten a drum sample pack. And so we started with this sample sound and then I played a little bit of a marimba part over it.
I remember you saying it sounded like David Lynch, which is cool, you know, something from a David Lynch movie.
Evolved into something that stayed with the song. The initial beat was enough to get Andy started with a chord structure.
And I remember asking you, for the chorus, should I play the A before the G or the G before the A?
And in that moment, Andy and I bonded over sort of film taste and getting confused over which chord should go where.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember now if you sang a melody at us, came up with chords, or vice versa. It happened pretty fast.
The night before, I had watched half of the first season of Desperate Housewives, and I felt pretty inspired by the conversations between Eva Longoria and her pool boy.
I can see why it's inspirational.
What about the drums?
The demo had the kind of pseudo reggae beat. The style was already very solid, so it was easy to kind of gravitate into that. And it slowly kind of turned into a heavier rockin' song, and I think this one has probably become our heaviest song, which might be the aggression of the Desperate Housewives. I don't know, but like, yeah, it definitely turned into like this like reggae thing into like this super rockin' thing, which is always really fun to play, and it's kind of cool to see it grow from that like EDM kind of thing into like the rocker tune that it's turned into.
What made you decide on that like child's piano type of sound? Because that wasn't how we started with the song.
Toy piano things that are little motifs in a simple line, which we knew that's the phrase ding 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 ding. It seemed like an appropriate tone for it. I may have been just going through sounds that I wanted to use, and it seemed like an opportune time. We played this song as a trio before Ben joined the band on drums, and Ben and I knew each other from a jam band, and I loved when he came in with the sensibilities to help us shape like a fresh voice on what some of the rhythmic patterns could be.
You didn't have the reggae part during the verses until we went to
That
the
happened
studio.
in the studio.
Yeah, I remember that. And I actually came up with one little different thing. Right before we went in the studio, I changed one thing I added something to the song that needed to be there.
When we actually got to the studio, that was the first time you started playing your more interesting like dynamics in the drums. It was the first time I really heard you like completely like figure out what you wanted the sound to be.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time like literally when, as soon as I walked in and was like set up and ready to go, I just started like jamming a little bit. I just started playing it. I think Scott might have been sound checking on that or something, or like there was something to drive that idea, and all of a sudden it literally I was like, oh, cool, that's kind of it right there. So I remember that's what made it onto the record.
And then I did vocal doubling, and I went in and I did it in one take.
Yeah, she killed it. Yeah, you killed it.
Yeah,
I remember
we were like, I got some ideas, and we were like, whoa, yeah. Like, and they were all great. Like, they were all like, I remember like listening to that and hearing that dimension being added, and just like we were constantly realizing that song in like new layers, like every single time we went into that control room.
Yeah, I definitely, because we've played this song live how many times as a trio for over a year, and then when we had Ben, we played it out multiple times, and then the second we were in a studio and we could actually layer things together, I remember the song For the first time, it was like I really heard what it was fully meant to be.
Being in the studio and how things changed, yes, we had played the song on several gigs, but some of those were establishments where we had to play nice and conservatively. And we got to do whatever the heart desired in the studio as far as our volume.
It was really nice to hear like you can be louder, like you can like really go for it at that section.
Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoy our music video for Brighten My Day.
Bye.